All right, hello, and welcome back to Cheers Kevin Games. Today, it's the second installment of Keep on Truckin', the series where first I play either America Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator for a little bit, and then I subsequently pop the video back open and then try and record some stuff over it so I can chat at you and we can just sort of have a discussion. I've tried to make the second one of these for a while, but I just didn't have like things that I wanted to talk about or things to say, and it ended up being sort of weird. I actually tried to record while playing, which is not good, despite the fact that this is like a really relaxing game in the sense that it does not take up all of your focus, and so you can sort of let your mind wander. It does take up enough focus that if you try and carry on a conversation while driving, it seems, I don't know, at least for me, I'm not super good at that. I presume that's probably a good reason for me not to drive a real vehicle as well. Anyway, how are you doing? How are things going? I want to talk to you kind of independently of stuff on the main channel, because I make videos on a bunch of different channels. On the main channel, I do kind of have this sort of like candid, there you go through that yellow light, Kevin. Good job. Like past Kevin from 20 minutes, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes ago, because I have to re-encode things so that I can even play these things on the screen. Yeah. By the way, if you don't play American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator, you should give it a try. If there's ever like a sale and you have the opportunity, it is ridiculously relaxing, like surprisingly so. I think part of me enjoys the game because it sounds like such a stupid premise for a game, right? Like you're driving a truck. I'm not speeding. I'm trying to follow the road signs. I'm using my turn signals. I'm being all responsible up in here, but it is so relaxing and so nice. Euro Truck Simulator, of course, scales a little bit better, and so I realized that I did not port over my save files from either American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator. I figured, hey, all right, well, that's a good excuse to start over, and so we're still doing kind of these short routes without actually having bought stuff. Although I think maybe in American Truck Simulator, I think we may have gotten our garage. I forget. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys sort of independently, because I know that there are definitely people who watch some of the videos here that don't necessarily watch stuff on Cheers Kevin or similar. Want to sort of check in, because I've been on this schedule of kind of making these videos kind of twice daily during the weekday, and then one on each of the weekends for, oh shoot, I probably should have looked this up before talking, but for a little over, maybe a month and a half, I think would be my guess. At least a month, probably a month and a half. It's a lot of content, and I know I've gotten some feedback in other areas that suggest, hey, I used to watch all your stuff and now I can't, so I pick and choose. But that was kind of the goal for all of this, right? And I'm looking at kind of how a lot of particularly gaming channels tend to work, and it is really or at least the way that I interact as someone who subscribes to several gaming channels. I go and I'm like, I'll just not watch all of them, but if there's something I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, sure, I'll go ahead and click on that. And that's, I guess, what I was trying to do here. I am still trying to figure out exactly what my I don't know what my value is the wrong way to say things, but what exactly is it that I can bring to the table that I do well with, and that you guys enjoy watching? Because I'm enjoying playing a lot of games. I take that back. There are some games I'm not enjoying quite so much. The DOS games I started to get really sick of really quickly. I imagine that, yes, it would be fun to go ahead and spin up a DOS game and then just beat it in an hour or two over the course of an evening, just for some nostalgia fun. But man, just trying to do just trying to set up little 20-minute episodes of like, all right, now just spam the attack button for a long time, I feel like not necessarily fun for me to record. And looking at the numbers, not necessarily the stuff that you guys are enjoying watching. I'm very grateful, though. I just want to point out that those of you who don't enjoy something, because there are some series that people do not seem to enjoy, and I understand. I'm very grateful that you stick around and do watch the stuff that you do enjoy. I recently spun up the Else Heartbreak series, and I was a little bit nervous because people come in to watch the Kerbal Space Programming stuff, and people. Some people enjoy the Minecraft stuff. The Else Heartbreak stuff, I was like, I have no idea if anybody's going to watch this. It could be that everybody's sort of kind of tuned out because I am just putting out so much stuff. And so it is sort of an open question for me as to still kind of what it is that I want to what format works well, what it is that I want to release. I mean, obviously the Kerbal Space Programming stuff requires a lot of time, and it's not something that I'm able to scale up much. I know there are some people who wish that I would do those more frequently. It's already weekly, and it's already taken up a significant amount of time to produce. Mainly it's that, you know, if you get caught trying to fix some sort of bug and you realize, like, yeah, if I don't get this fixed, we're just going to have an episode that's like, here, how about we just try for 20 minutes and make no progress? All right, tune in next week, which becomes kind of difficult. It always feels like we have to, at least in prepping the videos, it feels like I need to get to a point where there's at least a milestone that we can reach so that it feels like there's some, you know, kind of step forward. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with that series. Obviously, the KSP 1.2 is either out or dropping soon. I've been avoiding loading it up via Steam because I don't want it to try and auto update on me. That, of course, is coming out with the new transmission, the new satellite mod, the new satellite system, signal relay system, which replaces Remote Tech, which is a mod that we've kind of relied upon for realism. And it's going to be interesting to see, all right, well, what should we do now? Should we just say all of the Remote Tech stuff is dead? Should we try and stick with Remote Tech? Should we try and upgrade to the new system? I have no idea. Don't know exactly what's going to go on in there. Minecraft Agoraphobia, I guess my only fear with that, obviously that's one where I'm doing mostly no prep. I will try and think of, like, all right, here's what we want to do in the next episode, and if there's something where it's like, oh man, I need to actually look this up so that I have a general sense of what it is that we want to code up, then sure, I may go ahead and do that. But generally speaking, I'm trying to do that one a lot more casually. Else Heartbreak is another series that people are enjoying. No Man's Sky is interesting. But there's a question in my mind, because this has been something that's been kind of on my mind across a bunch of the different things that I'm working on making. Oh man, it's unfortunate. I'm watching the screen as I'm driving, and it's frustrating that despite the fact that XSplit said that it did not drop any frames, it is not getting the same frame rate that I was getting when I recorded that. So that's a little disappointing. I may need to, at some point, invest in an external recorder. I mean, I have an external recorder, but not something that records 60 frames a second, and you know how it is with people wanting their 60 frames a second, so... no, but a big subject on my mind recently has been where to scale things back, the better to focus my efforts, right? And obviously, the big... the easy place to cut things back would be like, well, you know, Kevin, you're producing 12 videos a week for the gaming channel. You could cut that back to, like, one thing a day. That might be the right approach. There are certainly series that I think maybe don't need to continue. I also need to figure out, like, hey, should I stick with keeping things on a regular basis? Or should I start varying things up, or say, you know, we're going to take a break from the series when we may come back to it, or all of that stuff. It's very interesting because when you start making things, you realize that there are a lot of, like, details that you just sort of assume that you know about how everything works and kind of what the habits are, and you realize, oh man, no, you really don't. I'm sitting there going, oh shoot, I mean, people put stuff out on a regular, right? I don't know. I am very excited about Osiris New Dawn. Oh man, I did not exactly know what that game was going to be. I saw it was on pre-release. I saw it was an MMO, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I've played several MMOs, but I've always joined the MMOs long after they've been released and have been successful and stuff. Gosh, I played WoW after Kata dropped, so it was already dead by the time I started playing. And I figured, hey, you know, if there's going to be a space MMO that takes off, I want to, just for once, I would like to be in at a game on the ground level. Of course, it's, you know, it was a week or two before we actually recorded that video, but, and then, man, I loaded that thing up. I was like, okay, this is just survival on Mars. This is really The Martian as an MMO. This is going to be super exciting. So I'm very, very excited to go through and play some of that. One thing that I have noticed, though, is that now that I'm playing all of these games not for work, but for work, I don't spend much time doing gaming stuff outside of stuff that I'm recording, which, I don't know, is maybe troublesome. it's also, I think this kind of goes back to trying to figure out what my niche or my niche is. I don't know if I'm supposed to play games that I'm competent at. I don't know what it is that I need to be working on and developing, whether I need to try and have a more engaging presence so I can talk to you and keep your attention on blah, blah, blah. Or I need to start actually getting better at video games, because generally speaking, when I spin up a game, I'm not super good at it. Even even KSB and everything, like, I'm not good at those games. I happen to have some domain knowledge in programming, and because we're making it a programming series, we're able to kind of get through it. But if I, if I have to try and manually fly something, I do an absolutely terrible job. Even designing the craft is just terrible. Yeah, Kevin, not good at video games. Geesy, I guess is the takeaway from that. But I think the sense that I am getting is that you guys are generally enjoying, and I shouldn't say guys, you guys and gals are generally enjoying more of the explicitly programming related stuff. I'm a little bit hesitant to just completely veer off in that direction, because that's kind of what I've been doing on stream, just kind of focusing on programming stuff, not necessarily gaming stuff, but programming stuff. So I'm a little hesitant to make that like the little space that I carve out in the gaming sphere, but who knows? Definitely going to be playing a lot of some more Osiris Red Dawn, because man, that was just so much fun. And there we go. We're finally pulling into Brussels. I think it's Brussels. Unlike American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator has very just kind of cookie cutter cities. I take that back. It depends. It depends on the region, but generally it's like, oh look, there's something sort of on the horizon, but no, you're just going to this, kind of cookie cutter type of thing. But on the plus side, it took us 13 minutes to drive there, where if this was American Truck Simulator, we would have gotten on the highway, we'd have gotten off at the next exit, and we're like, we're there, we're done, blah. Of course, they are still planning on launching their rescale, which should hopefully fix some of that discontinuity. I mean, because it does feel weird that basically you would be able to just drive pretty much cross-country in the span of, I don't know, a few hours, with the way that things were scaled. But anyway, those are just some sort of thoughts that have been rambling around in my head. I'm, of course, going to not real park this because I am lazy. I would love to know your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments kind of what you think about how the channel's going, and if you have any advice about what we should do in the future. But until then, I will see you next time I see you. Cheers.